Hi everyone, I'm Grottles and welcome to a new series. Yeah, we're gonna do another best start series, but this time we're gonna choose the Rocky Desert. So I chose the Northern Forest as it is one of my favorite places to start, but Rocky Deserts, I've started there too and it's pretty darn good. So let's go ahead, jump in and get started. So Rocky Desert's the place. Enable onboarding. We're gonna skip the onboarding process. I've done that before. If you've never done it, do it. It's a fun experience. But after you've done it once, I would say don't bother. Advanced settings. Let's jump in there. Gameplay. Nothing. Progression. Onboarding here. We're gonna start the tier at tier 1, and this way we get the stuff that we would get if we dropped the pod. Creatures, we're gonna put on the arachnophobia. I have friends that don't like spiders. In case they ever join my game, I don't want them to have that, and we don't need them, so why bother? We're gonna hit the back button and we're gonna hit options, gameplay, and I'm gonna put the creatures, I'm gonna leave them on passive. You got passive, retaliate, and default. I don't want to fight them, I just want to build. I'm gonna leave them on passive. I'm gonna hit apply, make sure that's confirmed. And then we're going to go into mods. Cartograph or cartograph. It changes your map and it makes it more detailed. You can see the machines, you can see the buildings, trains. It's really good. Manta rise makes the manta, the thing that flies in the air, rise over your buildings so they don't go through them. Sky UI, that lets you set daytime, nighttime, pause it, and save the settings so it's daytime all the time. And vanish giraffe. These things they look like a giraffe whale kind of thingy. Anyway, they spawn in buildings. They're a pain in the neck. Don't want them. Alright, now that we got that all set, we're going to name this BS2 for a best start. Best start, there we go. Best start 2, because I do have a 1. If you want to see it, it's in the Northern Forest. Check it out. But otherwise, we're going to do Rocky Desert, and I'm going to hit start. Alright, so I have an idea where I want to go with this. So up top, you have west, you have north, east, south. I want to go east. Yeah, I want to go east. I'm going to grab these nuts first. So while running to the spot that I pretty much know I want to go to, and I'm hoping I go into the right direction. I know I have to go east, but sometimes I don't know whether I need to go north or south. Aw, there's a doggo. I'm gonna collect leaves. Leaves and not rocks. Oh my god, rocks. You don't want to collect rocks. Leaves and wood. We're gonna just pick those up as we go east, as we go north. Yeah. So anyway, run is shift. I am playing on mouse and keyboard. And I'm playing on PC, but you can follow along with your new console game, which congratulations if you got it on console. It's definitely worth it. It's great. I do not have it on console. So see that big waterfall over there? That's where I added. But you can follow along with console. From what I hear, all the maps, they're all the same and everything else. And look at this. We got a crash site right off the bat. So this is a crash site. You could delete some of these pieces here, and then these other ones. Oh, to delete, press F, and it'll highlight if you can delete it, just like we did here and here. And then we have screws here. We're going to pick that up with E. Reinforced plates. These are all just parts that fell from this thing that crashed here, and that. Then we're going to go in and click here. This is optional. It won't always say optional. Sometimes you need a part to open it up, but this one we don't. So let's go in, and here's a hard drive. That'll be important later. And then we're going to click out, and we're going to press F and delete that. And all those parts we got. Alright, let's keep running towards that waterfall. If you don't know why we're running towards that waterfall, it's where I want to build. And if I were to press V and scan for iron, there's iron over here. There we go. There's actually one there and 2 more over there. And that is awesome because they're all pure. And you might be saying, I don't know what that means. Well, you get nodes, and pure nodes, you can mine at 3 per turn, or whatever you want to say. Then you get normal ones that are 2 per whatever. And impure is 1. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about when we go and mine off part of it, so I could show you it. And I can't jump up here very easily. Well, there we go. So anyway, there is our pure node. If you look down, you'll see it says pure. And if I press E, you picks up 3 at a time. See? 29, 32. There you go. This one, any node will have these things on top of it. Not all the time, but a lot of the times. And this is always pure. So you can just take this off. You want to take this off because you can't put a miner on it until you take it off. So we're going to take that off. And let's hit that tab menu again. Tab, we have this little zapper thingy. And we're going to just zap this. And this way it's out of the way. And we're going to pick that up because we're going to need that when we do some research. So continue to pick up some leaves. Again, that's going to be super important. We're going to need that for some power later on. But let's move on and scan for copper. 3 things we're going to need: iron, copper, limestone. So let's scan for copper. So we have one directly across from here. Let's go ahead and do that. Goes right over there. Alright, we're going to do the same thing with this one. Look down. It is pure. Take off the top. Alright, so here's our copper. Over there is our iron. Let's scan for limestone. So we have 3 options. One's on top of this hill or cliff, whatever. Over there and over there. So let's run over there and over there and see what we get. We have to go above this mini little waterfall here. And I'm going to continue to pick up whatever leaves and wood I get along the way. Gonna hop across these and fall in the water, of course. Alright, let's scan again. I can't while I'm in the water, but I believe it's right over here. Yep, there it is. Alright, so here's one right here. And we're gonna kill this thing. Get rid of it. Alright, perfect. Pick up these leaves. Alright, let's grab that one. So this one we're gonna do the same, and you can see here, this is normal. So we're just gonna take off the top of this one. Alright, so now that we got the top off of here, let's press the Q. So that's the menu. We got a hub. That's gonna be our home base, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But we're gonna go to production, and we're gonna put a miner on here. So it shows you what you need. You need a portable miner, you need some plates, and you need some concrete, which we have. And we're just going to set that up right there. So, from limestone, once you put down a miner, it'll show you what you're mining. You don't have to ever select this. Limestone does not need to be smelted, so we won't need a smelter. So when we hit Q, we won't need this, but we need a constructor. So if you hold control, it makes it where it snaps right in line with that. And we're going to put that down. Next, we're going to talk about our hot bar. So as you can see down below, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 is a belt. And we can connect that with a belt. Now, if I hit Q, if I want to put anything else in my hot bar, I can simply just press, hover over it, and press like 9. So now 9, I have a storage container. So now I could just use my 9 key and set that up, and everything needs to be connected. Wow, that did not work. All right, let's try lining that up. That's better. Everything needs to be connected with this conveyor belt or a lift eventually, but anyway, that's how that's gonna go. So we will be making concrete. We're gonna go ahead and set up, let's set up some power. But let's see if we can put the power on this side. There we go. And we'll connect this to this. There's only 4 connections allowed. for these small Mark 1 power poles. But let's see, can we reach... We can reach to there, and it's still green. See, that's red. We want it to be green, so we'll just do that. Alright, so now we shouldn't have to climb back up here for a little while. Let's jump down. Oh, I cannot get up there. I cannot get up there. Nope, nope, nope. There we can. So I just want to grab where that power pole is. You can't really see it, but if you press 2, that's going to be able to connect your power pole and your machines. And that automatically makes a power pole. So I'm just going to take this, right there, and then that will be connected to power soon. Let's head over to our iron and set up for that. Alright, very similar to the concrete. We're going to press Q, production, miner. Let's see how we want to position this. Maybe that way. I think that's alright. I'm just going to go and quickly pick up some of these leaves. Alright, that's okay. I don't mind that rock being there, because this is only a temporary setup just to get things moving. Q, smelter this time. And let's line it up with that control and click it in. Now this is super close. And to be honest, I don't want it close. And there's a reason. So let's delete it. So deleting it, you'll still get all your parts back. So don't worry about that. I need a space because we are going to add a splitter in here. And that's going to be able to split off some of this iron ore. Again, if you look in here, iron ore, we could throw what we have in here. And actually, we don't want to do that because we need some of this to build our hub. So yeah, let's leave that alone. And let's go into a constructor. I'm going to line it up. Put in our conveyor belt. Add some storage, which I did put in 9, but I didn't use it. All right, we'll do that and then connect it with a conveyor belt. So now let's go into our smelter. We can smelt copper and we can smelt iron. Obviously, we're picking up iron. We're going to select that, and then we're going to do let's do rods. Because I'll show you later on, there's a reason why I'm going to pick rods over plates right this second. So anyway, we're going to leave this alone after we get some power. So we're going to set that, and set that. And I made extra poles because we might need them, and I'll just put that there. Let's head over to the copper. I'm going to pick up some leaves. A few more. There we go, and there we go. Alright, so let's put down the miner. And we'll shift it ever so slightly, like that. And then we're going to grab a smelter. Line it up, leave some space, like we did with the iron, because... Again, we're going to put a splitter in there, and I'll explain that when we get it. And we're going to grab a constructor, not a smelter. There we go. Line it up. That should be good. Connect it. And then grab a container and put that up there. Press 3. There we go. Perfect. All right, so in here, we're going to do some copper. Over here, we're going to do wire. And let's go ahead and get some power to this. So you press 2. And you could draw these out like this, and like this. And we'll bring this up to here. And I'm just going to run this to where this guy is. I'm going to bring another pole somewhere around here and connect it with there. All right, let's press Q. And what we're going to grab is the hub. So this is going to be for our home base. Now it is a little funky where it is, but it's fine. It's not going to stay there, but it's going to be helpful right now. So, actually, let's turn this around. I did not place it the way I want to, so let's spin this around, and there is a reason, I swear. Alright, let's do that. So on our hub, we have these biomass burners. They have to be automatically fed, and they will produce power. Only 20 watts of power each. There's 2 of them. And we're going to connect our power poles to them. 1. And where's our other one? That one to there. And we have leaves and wood to put in here, but we're not going to do that. Let's go ahead inside the hub. So inside the hub, we have this hub terminal. Hub terminal. Right here, we got base building, logistics, field research. So these are phases. We're going to do many, many phases. And right now, we're doing phase 0. It's because phase 1 starts at 3. But anyway, we have tiers within the phases, and then we have milestones within the tiers. So the first tier and milestones we have are the base building, logistics, and field research. We're going to do logistics because I want splitters first. And right now, that's why I put it on rods. We could switch it to plates later on, and we are already starting to make our wire. So what we're going to do is select that milestone. It'll now be there on the right hand side, as you can see on the top. Over here, crafting bench. This is where we can craft stuff. And then if we go around the... Oh, I forgot the toolbox. There we go. We got a toolbox. We could store some of the stuff we have in there, like the hard drive. We can't use that yet. And we could sort. There we go. And then in here, you can change your outfit. So we could do this, and we could do this. We could change the colors. And there we go. We have a bathroom to throw stuff in the garbage, so you could flush it in the toilet, and we have a computer game. But anyway, that's all the novelties of that. So the first thing we're going to do is go to our crafting bench. And we have leaves and we have wood. We're going to turn them into biomass. Why? Because biomass burns slower than the leaves and the wood. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to select the wood one. And I'm going to press the space bar. And we're going to turn this into biomass. Now you only have to press the space bar once. And then you can walk away, go to the bathroom, get a drink, do whatever you need to do. And you're done. That's it. You don't have to worry about it. So anyway, we're just going to turn all the stuff we have into biomass. And then we're going to get the machines up and running. And this way we're auto-producing right from the beginning. You want to do that. You want to. You don't not want to do that. So this way you're going to be making stuff right off the bat. Easy peasy. Don't have to worry about it. So here we go. We got the biomass. We're going to go ahead and put the biomass 200 stack in there and in here. There we go. And then you'll be able to click in, and you can see that we have the capacity of 40 because each one is 20. We're consuming 19 because not all the machines are running. But if all the machines were running, we'd be at 35. So as long as it's under that 40, we're good. So capacity, max cons, we're good. Production, it says 23. It's fine. Don't worry. We're good. So anyway, I'm going to let this run just a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm not going to go too far because we don't have a map yet. We won't be able to fill out a map. But I'm just going to go off and collect a bunch of leaves and wood because right now we don't want to submit anything because we don't have anything. So I'll be back in a little while after I go around and pick up all these leaves and wood. All right, so we picked up a ton of leaves and wood. Let's go check on our rods. All right, we've got plenty of rods. I'm going to switch this to plates really quick. There we go. All right, so we have to wait for that to get to 150. And then we'll be able to submit our stuff. Gonna keep it running. I think what we're gonna do is let's see what it's gonna take to add more power, because that's gonna be the next step. So let's look in here. We got the 40, 35. Right now we're consuming 26. It bounces around. So let's go ahead and see what we need. So I'm gonna come down in this area right here. Right about here. All right, let's tab. No, not tab. Q. And we're going to go to power and biomass burners. So we need 15 plates, 15 rods, and 25 wire. So let's go pick up some rods, some wire. And this way we could start building biomass burners. And that's going to keep us with power. All right, so we need, let's split this in half and then half. And then we'll put this aside because we need 300. That should be plenty. We'll take some of this wire with us. Let's go grab some rods. Not too many. We don't want to take away from what we need for our milestone, but enough to kind of sort out for a biomass burner set. So let's go. So down in here, let's just set up a line of some biomass burners. Now we're not going to be able to do anything with these right now because we need splitters, but for now I just want to kind of set up one row like here and there, and let's turn across from it because we're going to actually use splitters to do this and line these up. Perfect. So we'll put splitters here once we get them unlocked, which shouldn't be too long, and we'll be able to turn on some biomass burners. Also in the meantime, let's go check. Let's go pick up the stuff we need. Might as well, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we need that wire. And we need these rods. Actually, let's just pick up the plates too while they're there. Let's go ahead and submit all the things we have. So we need a little bit more plates. We do have some iron on us. Let's go ahead and show you how to use the crafting bench. So if I press E, I'm going to turn that iron ore into iron ingots. You press the space bar. Again, just like the leaves and stuff, you're going to set it with your space bar and just forget it. Don't have to push it again. Alright, we should have plenty to submit now. Let's go ahead and put that in there and press the red button. When we do that, that guy's going to take off right through the rock because apparently that's where I set my hub. That will be moved. It will not glitch through there every time, but you know what? I don't care right now. Now we have splitters, so let's check in with what we did get. So we got splitters, mergers, conveyor belts, and efficiency. So we'll know exactly what we're doing. Let's click base building next. We'll need concrete, plates, and rods. So we have the rods. Well, we can't put them in yet because our pod has to come back. But we can go around and collect what we need to get it going. We'll need some concrete, which we haven't been up there in a while. So we could take a run up there and go see how much we have. Ooh, that hitbox is really weird. Because it's leaves, but I can't pick them up. Alright, let's check this. What the heck? I never selected concrete. So we made no concrete. Okay. So that happens. Always make sure that your machines are selected because, yeah, shit like that happens all the time. Especially to me. I just, you know, it just happens, you know. It's fine. It's fine. We're not going to be worrying about that right now anyway. So let's go ahead. Let's go add to the bio burners that we were making. Whoa, we're swimming quick. All right. So let's head back down to the biomass burners. Before we do that, though, let's collect the grass and the wood we got. All right, I'm going to grab all the grass and the wood and the biomass. That'll be perfect. Let's grab... we'll grab the plates too. We might need them. Alrighty. So now that we got splitters and mergers, you're going to find that in logistics. I'm actually going to hover over it, press 8, and it'll be in my hotbar. So now, if I press 8, I will get a splitter, and if I press E, it'll switch to a merger, and then back to a splitter. So that's perfect. If I hold Control, I can split it nice and evenly down the middle, and then we're going to connect that with a conveyor belt. Apparently, I set it up wrong. Let's try that again. I think I had the merger. Yeah, that would make sense. All right. Don't want a merger. We want a splitter. There we go. All right, I'm going to jump up here and jump on here. Middle mouse click copies not only the item, but the actual settings, which we don't have any settings on this, but if you did, would do that. Again, half the stuff I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I try to always repeat it just so, you know, if you forget, that's how you do it. So in here, I'm going to show you something. We're going to leave some room, and there's a reason. The reason being is eventually a constructor is going to go here to make solid biofuel, because we'll have the option to make solid biofuel later on, which will turn the biomass into solid biofuel. And with that, it's going to make things burn slower again. So biomass burns slower than grass, and solid biofuel burns slower than the biomass. So that's always a good thing. So we're going to grab 2 constructors over here if we had some cable. So let's go into queue again. I have no cable on me. So I'm going to grab a crafting bench so I don't have to run all the way back to the hub. And some of this wire we have, I'm going to turn into cable. Alright, that should be plenty for now. I'm going to stand in the middle here. Let's see. Let's jump up on this splitter here. There we go. So I'm going to want 2 constructors. So let's grab the constructors. I'm going to want to put them a little back further. Again, so we can merge the other. I'm going to press that. And eventually there's going to be one in the middle right here that's going to be lined up with this. Actually, let's see. Let's line this up here because I want to kind of make these line up a little bit better here. Let's see. We could slightly turn it that way. And then we're going to do the same with this one. So this way, when we put a splitter there, we're going to need a little more room, but that should be fine because we got more room there. We can move that up. All right, we're going to take that off. Now these 2 are going to go into a merger. So let's take the splitter, and then we're going to press E, and we're going to put the blue arrows towards here. We'll draw the conveyor belt to that. Whoops, I did not want to jump over it. There we go. And we're going to just put that to there and that to there. All right. Next, we're going to do this into wood. We're going to do this one into leaves. And then we're going to put some storage behind them. So this automates. So this will automate your process, but you still have to collect leaves and wood. Whereas when you get up to coal, that'll be mining that stuff, so you won't have to. So let's do that. Now we can throw all our grass into here and all our wood into here. And let's come down to our biomass burners. So we do have some biomass. We're going to throw that in. There we go. Next, we need power. So I'm going to put this over to here, this over to here. I'm going to grab this to there, this to here, and then this to here, this to right here, and connect them all up. Let's bring that over to about there. Let's connect these three up. So now these biomass burners are actually powering those two items there. And as you can see, there's a 60 on this side, 60 on that side. So we're going to merge those two together. So let's bring this over to here. This is going to connect to this one. And now this connects to, let's do that one. All right, so right now we still have the ones on the hub working, so we're making 160. But we're gonna pull the ones from the hub out because we don't want to make false power, because once this runs out, we're not gonna have any power in here. So let's just turn these like this. This will run out of power really soon. You know, I thought it was gonna be sooner. Oh, there we go. Than what it is, but yeah, it's still going. So as you can see, it dropped by 20. And then this will drop by 20 again once it finishes burning here. Here we go. All right, there we go. So we are producing now the 120 from the 4 burners over there. So that's perfect. We could add a couple of more, which I think we might do. So you're only going to consume what you're consuming. So whatever is not consuming will be fine. So we're going to do, actually let's do these guys so they show us the space we need. Let's come down and we'll go right next to it. Hit control, spin this around. Oh, we need more plates. All right, let's grab more plates. Not worried about hitting that milestone. We still need to grab concrete, which I did not make apparently, so not a big deal. It's working now. Should have had a lot of concrete. I'm a little bit upset about that, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So let's go in here. We're gonna grab all these plates. Let's come down and add another biomass burner, and we'll have 2 more biomass burners, which will bring our power up much higher. So let's line this up. That moved. That happens sometimes. It will move as you click. There we go. Hop up on here, hop up on here, and line this up with all 3. There we go. And connect, connect, and connect. All right. So now we need to hook this up to power. I'm going to middle mouse click, and then I can connect this to the pole here and bring it right down to there. And that just created another power right there. So now I can press 2 and connect it up. I could do the same thing on the other side. Let's grab one and point it at the wire itself. Bring it down. There we go. Press 2 and connect it. And now let's see how much power we're consuming. We're not consuming, we're making. So now we have 180 from 120, which is a pretty good amount. And we did get quite a bit of leaves and grass, leaves and grass, leaves and wood. So we are good with that. Because we are making more power, let's go ahead and set up a splitter here. There we go. And we're going to start making cable. So let's line this up around there. We're going to grab another constructor. Let's line that up here. Boy, that's a little off, but again, this is only temporary. This is not Going to be a permanent setup. All right, so let's connect this to the splitter. There we go. All right, so we want this to make copper. It copied the settings. We want this one to make wire. That's perfect. But now in this one, we need it to make cable. All right, so now we need to add power. So we're going to do that, and that. There we go. So let's add a storage container here. Whoa, what are you doing? Oh, it doesn't like that curve. Okay. Let's do that again. It did line up. I don't know why. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. That's fine. All right, so now we're making cable. See, now that we're making more power, we can add to it with our splitters, which is perfect. It's exactly what we want. And let's come on down to here, and we're going to start making cable. So, we're going to put a splitter here. We're going to make cable. What the hell am I talking about? We're going to make rods, and this way we're making rods and plates. I don't know why I said cable. We already are making cable. Sometimes, yeah, it just gets a little crazy. We're missing wire. Oh, we're missing cable. See, I keep liking the word cable, apparently, so... Alright, let's go ahead and make a little bit more cable. Might as well use up the copper ore that we have. And make some stuff with that. We could also make some concrete, because we have limestone. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we should have enough for us to make that constructor now. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so in this one, we are going to make rods. There we go. And let's go ahead. Add this and this. And there we go. Storage container. I knew that slid. Of course it was gonna slide. There we go. So we have to... What's going on here? Did I not? I didn't put this. So you always check, because I always do this stuff and then I forget. There we go. So now that's going to be bringing in the ore. So now, remember, this is coming in at 120 per minute. These belts only work at 60 per minute. So eventually we're going to have to make the belt speed a lot faster. So the next belt speed is going to be the Mark IIs, which we have not got up to yet at all. So anyway, let's go in here. Let's see what we got. We can add here and here. We're going to need a little bit more rods. That's not a problem. Let's go ahead and check on the concrete we got. Making now. Will we have 200? Yes. All right. All right, let's check on the rods. We need 40. We have 23. All right, we're so close to being there. Another 7, another 5, and then we'll be able to ship this out. And then I think I'm gonna go around and start collecting some more leaves after we select the next one, because we might as well let this build up a little bit, and leaves and wood are gonna be extremely important to get things done. So what am I missing? 2 more rods? Oh my god, I thought it was... Wow. All right, let's grab them. There we go. All right, now it's done. There we go. All right, so with this, we get base building. So we get platforms and everything else, walls, a lookout tower. But now we're going to select the third one, which is field research. Now, I really don't want to go far away because I still don't have a map. We need to make screws. Again, I can't click this in until the pod comes back. But I can see if I can collect rods in a little bit. And I'm going to collect some more leaves and I'll be right back. Actually, You know what? We're not collecting leaves right now. We're going to set up, if we have enough of our, let's see, we need a couple of more rods. We're going to set up for screws. It just makes sense to do it. I think what we will do is put the screws on this side because I need another constructor. And when we run our MAM, which is the next thing we need to do, we're going to research our hard drive and see if we can get an alternative recipe for screws. And what I mean by that is, when you find hard drives in the world, you'll get alternative recipes when they are scanned. And some of them are good, some of them aren't so good. But cast screws, it always slides. Why does it slide? Let's see. There. I need a steadier hand, apparently. There we go. Alright, so now this is making screws for us, and then we're going to go on the other side, and we're going to make some rods. So let's do that. So, in the world, we're going to get hard drives, as you saw at the beginning when we came in. And we're going to get something called a MAM, and what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to scan hard drives and research things. And through that, you get alternative recipes that are going to be a little bit different from the recipes we have. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. And cast screws happens to be one of the ones that are really good because you don't have to make rods to make screws. You can just make screws right from the get-go, which is super nice. So it's just going to need one constructor, and it'll be perfect. But right now we don't have that, so we're going to just make the rods into screws right down in here. That's making the rods into the screws, and that's giving us the screws there. And then on this side, we're just going to make rods. Alright, now I feel more comfortable going around collecting more leaves, and then we'll submit our last one, which is the wire, the screws, and the plates for our field research, and then we'll set up a MAM. We'll do whatever we can as far as researching stuff, and then we'll run our hard drive and scan that. But for now, I'll be back. Alright, so while running around, I did find a little cave that had a power slug in it, and I'm gonna grab that. And also this guy. This guy is mycelia. We're gonna grab that as well while we're in this little cave. We're not too far from our hub, but I did run into it, so I was like, well, I might as well pick up the mycelia because it's something we're going to research. And you never know what you're going to research if you've never played the game. So for now, it's always good to just pick up stuff when you see it. And this is going to be the end of the cave on the other side. Just want to see where we are. Still in the rocky desert. But there is a power slug right there. And there's also a spitter. So I'm just going to see if I can get some DNA from this spitter. Alright. I know we got a hatcher one already. So we got that. And we'll grab that blue power slug there. And yeah, our hub's right back there. That's where the waterfall is. And this is where we came out of our cave. We might as well run back on the outside because we know there's nothing else on the inside. So yeah, when you do collect leaves and stuff, you know, and you're sticking by the hub, if you see something, still pick it up, you know. It's always going to be good to do that. So alright, I'm going to head towards the hub a little bit here, and we'll go see how much stuff is ready. Alright, I'm going to dump what we got into our storage containers here. Let's hit that sort button. Did we get any wood? A little bit of wood. Mostly grass, which is fine. We are burning quite a bit. As you can see, we did have a lot there. I'm just going to click in here and throw in our extra. And as you can see, we're not burning as much as we're making that fast because this is still backed up. And I still have plenty of room for biomass in the machines itself. So that's a good thing. So I was trying to slide and I was getting stopped. Because I was like, if you go uphill, you won't slide. Ready? See? See? No, can't slide. You crouch, but you don't slide. What do we need? Wire. Let's go pick that up. I walked right past it. Of course I did. Alright, let's go grab all the wire we got. Screws are going to be the one thing we're going to be waiting on, maybe? No, I think we got them. Yes, we did. Alright, we got some plates. Let's go ahead and submit this. And then we'll get our map, which is going to be awesome. There we go. Boom. Alright, so now if we click M, here is our map. And this is great. And remember I was talking about that mod I had, the cardiograph or whatever? This shows us where we're all set up. So this is our copper. And this is our limestone. And this is our iron. And then over here is, I guess, the biomass? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Maybe? I'm not sure. Oops, oops, oops. There we go. There's the hub. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Okay. If I look this way. Okay, here we go. So that is our limestone. This is our iron. This is our biomass, and this is our copper. Boy, oh boy, I was really confused. But anyway, listen, I just want to tell you something. Before we set up the MAM, I didn't even think about this, but we have foundations now. And what we're going to do with our foundations is make it easier to get to this limestone, which is going to be great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Q, foundations, and these four, I'm going to put the foundation in 5 and the ramp in 4. And now when I press 4, I can make this ramp. I'm also going to press R and use zoop, and that's going to let me put more than 1. There we go. We can go down to there. That's fine. And now I can just use the ramp instead of walking all the way around to get to the concrete, which is going to be great. Another thing I want to look at is we are really 75, 180. Okay. So we're really not making a lot of concrete. If we want to start base building and doing stuff like that, we might want to pull from up there. Let's put another ramp here. And I'll show you. There's another limestone. That was not good. I don't want to put that like that. That looks terrible. I mean, at least make it look decent. What if we... So if I hit control, by the way, that's going to be on the world grid. And that's something that, if you're new, you're going to want to do. Right now, I'm not setting up any base buildings, so I don't care whether we're on the world grid or not. But later on, it's going to be important. For especially new people, because wherever you place a foundation in the world, it'll match up to the foundations you already have. So the world grid does come in handy. When you start making curves and stuff, it's not going to matter. But yeah, if you're new, it's definitely going to be super helpful. Let's see. I'm just going to clear some of this. I'm going to put another miner on here. And another constructor down there. So we're making a little bit more concrete. We have the power. We might as well do it. See, these are normal. Not that that makes any difference, because right now we only have 60 belts. Belts that move at 60 per minute. So right now, even splitting it is not going to help. So we're just going to move our production. And let's go that way. And let's see, let's click on that constructor and line it up with this one. That would be good. So now I'm going to put this belt right there. And I now have lifts. So I'm going to hit Q. And I go to logistics. I now have a lift. I'm going to put that in 7. All right, so now if I click 7, this could connect to there. And now it is a little wonky there. But what you could do is place this on the ground here. Watch your arrows. So let's do that. I don't care that the tree is there. So now that arrow on the top is pointing out. We want it to go in. So I'm just going to press R, and now it's pointed in. So now I can connect a piece of conveyor to that, and a conveyor to there. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch this. This is fine, because we are copying the settings. We're going to switch this around like this, but we're missing rods. Of course we are. I'm going to do this because we're making it so slow. What we could do is just merge these into one container for now. There we go. That's a little close. Gosh darn it. Let's hit 8. Let's hit E, because we're going to want to merge these. I'm going to put it between the two of them like that. I'm going to hook that up to... Wow, that's too close. Even that way it's too close. Oh. Can we press R? Nope, no way works. Alright, you know what? I'm making a fool out of myself, apparently. Let's get between the two machines. That might be helpful. That's a splitter, not a merger. Boy, oh boy, I can't play today, apparently. Right here. Hopefully that'll work. There we go. There we go. Alright, now we can put a storage container in. Wow. Let's just put it that way, it's fine. And now we need power to these guys. So let's do this. Let's grab him up there, or her, whoever it might be. Grab that to that, and... Where is our power lines? Let's go there, and... Where are you? That's fine. Alright, so now we are making extra concrete, which is gonna super be important when we start some base building, because, yeah... Did I split this? Oh, it's just taking a long time. It's taking a long time. Now, because this is normal, this one is only doing 60 per minute. And that is because this is a normal node. On a pure node, it would do 120. In here, it takes 45 to make per minute to make one concrete. So even splitting it would not help, because technically 60 and 45, let's face it, you can't, 30 would be half. It wouldn't work anyway, so having the two nodes is fine. It's just taking a long while. There it goes. That the limestone is getting down. But we're good now. We're good? We're good. Alright. So let's check out our MAM. That's the next thing we got. So, yes, we're gonna do that. Alright, let's hop up. Alright, I'm just gonna go back into here. Alright, in Tier 1, Field Research, we got the MAM. What we have not set up yet, before we do that, in Special, we have an equipment workbench. I have to go pick up some rods for that. Let's go do that. That's plates. Okay, I'm not making rods apparently, because I did not switch the recipe. See guys, I'm telling you, I'm only human. I do the same crap as everybody else, and it happens. I don't know if everybody else constantly forgets to set their machines up right, but I am. I'm one of those people. But I don't sweat it, right? It's fine. It's not brain surgery. We're not doing anything crazy. It's fine. It could be fixed, right? So I'm just going to make some rods from some of the ingots I already have anyway. And they're just sitting there anyway, so I might as well use them, right? So we're going to make an equipment workbench before the MAM. There we go. And now that we have some rods, let's go ahead and do that. Boom. Alright, so in here you can make more portable miners, which you need for miners. Or you could just place them around the world, which is super easy. when you need to pick up other things that we're not doing yet. Object scanner. We're going to do one of these. Boom. Now we have an object scanner. We're going to press the Q. We're going to press that. Put it in our hand. And now when I scroll with my mouse, I can't search, well, anything. Why? I haven't done any research in the MAM. So we're going to press Q. We're going to go ahead and set up a MAM once we get some cable that we're missing, apparently. So, yeah. But at least we're making cable. Yay! Alright, so here we go. We're going to take that cable. Let's go make that MAM. Alrighty. Let's press Q. MAM. Pop it right there. Alright, I'm going to go over to here because there's stuff in here. Well, we don't have a Mercer sphere yet. Didn't I see a Mercer sphere? There it is. I think I saw it earlier, but I was talking to you guys about something else. And so I did not even mention seeing it, but there is one right over here. So let's go ahead and pick this up. This is a Mercer sphere. It's purple, and it's something that's going to be super important later. So we're going to grab it, and we're going to go, because that's going to be part of our research. And yeah, like I said, I saw it before, and then I forgot to pick it up after the fact. And, you know, it happens. I do things all the time. Let's just take everything. This is all the inventory I have. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. Alright, so alien. We picked up spitters. We know we did that. So let's start that research. Okay. We did hatchers. Let's start that. Just gonna sort my inventory there. I don't think we did hogs yet, did we? No. Nope, no hogs. Alright, so DNA, we have to make some of this right here, which is protein. We could do that soon, but we don't need to right this second. Let's go ahead over to here. We do have the Mercer sphere. Let's start that. Okay. That's going to set us up to there, which we don't have unlocked yet. And yeah, so we have to wait. Mycelia. We did get some of that just recently in the cave. Great. So now we can do fabric research, but we need more mycelia. I'll show you how to get that later on, either in the next episode or later. I'm not sure where I'm at yet. Nutrients. Let's do the bacon. We do have that. We have no berries. Okay, but we do have nuts. Perfect. And power slugs. Let's do that. Perfect. Alright, so we could do this one. We need more screws. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the screws and we'll be able to do whatever that is that we need to do. Let's grab all the screws here. Jump up. Grab that. Go into slugs. That one. Yes, we can do it now. Let's do it. So that makes it scannable on. Let's show you. So let's skip over to here. So now we can scan for power slugs, nuts, mushrooms, and Mercer spheres. I don't know why they call it mushrooms. I mean, it's bacon and Gary. It's mushrooms. It is a mushroom. What am I talking about? But anyway, when you're out searching for stuff, you can now scan for these things. They'll be easier to find. So now that we did all our research, let's go back to the top where it says hard drives. We do have one. It'll automatically disappear from your inventory, and it takes 10 minutes to scan. So we can go out in the world, do what we want to do some searching now. We have a map, and we will be able to start looking for more Mercer spheres and other things that we do not have in the world, you know, that we do, well, that's in the world that we don't have now. So, because, you know, we do want to do that. So anyway, I'm going to put some of these things that I do have away. We have the mycelia, that. We don't need that. Copper sheets, we're not making those yet. We will soon, but we're not making it. I think we're just gonna store all. Why not? I don't really need any of this stuff except plates and concrete. So plates and concrete, when you're out in the world, if you can't reach something, you'll be able to put in some foundations and get up to places that we normally can't get to. So I would always bring some of that stuff with us. Tier 2. This is the next tier we're going to be working on. But for now, yeah, we're not doing this. We're just letting the parts build up. Because right now we don't have a lot of parts. This is all stuff that we are making, but we don't need it right now. So, and then logistics too. That's going to be important. Sink, we have a bunch of stuff. But anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm going to start going out in the world and looking for stuff. I'm wondering, well, no, I was going to say, there's one that would make sense, right? Object clearing. It gives me 3 more inventory slots. It gives us the solid biofuel that we could change in the biomass plant that we have right now. And it gives us a chainsaw. So I'm wondering, we should select this, right? Because it just makes sense that we kind of have this stuff going on while we're going on our little trip. So why don't we gather what we can? Let's check in here. We do have screws in here. We do have cable in here. And concrete we can go pick up. So let's definitely do the obstacle clearing. Set up the biofuel. This way, let me just take everything we need out of here. This way we got the solid biofuel going. Well, we can make a chainsaw, which we can cut down more trees and stuff while we're on our, way out over there. And it'll just make it better for us to get things going, and keep things running efficiently here while we're gone. So let's spin this around. Let's set this up pretty close to that. And then we're going to set up that merger over here. So let's press E. I'm going to line up that blue line with the output there. And then we're going to take this from here to here, here to here, and here to here. Next, we're going to come into here and select solid biofuel. We might as well put in here what we have. And let's hook this guy up to some power. And now we'll be making solid biofuel. So now we do have the biomass still burning in here. But let's see how much leaves we have now. Not too bad. I think we'll be fine if we go on a little adventure. And let's go ahead. Make a... So this is going to make that solid biofuel. We need that for our saw. We're going to make a chainsaw. So this way, if we're over, in a place that has a lot of trees and a lot of, stuff, we can cut it up and bring it home and put it into our biomass burners. So let's go ahead and come up here, make a saw. Let's go in here. Chainsaw. We're missing some rods and some screws. Not a problem. We are making those things. Now we are. Let's grab that. Hopefully we have enough screws now. I don't know. But as you can see, we're very light on all these things. Alright, we can craft it. And there we go. So now, if we do this, we can put that chainsaw there. And we'll pick up some biomass. Let's store everything except for the concrete and not the nuts, the plates. Not the nuts. There we go. Sort that, and we'll grab some solid biofuel, and we'll be on our way. Alright, so I'm gonna go exploring, as well as you should too. And yeah, let me know in the comments below, what did you do and what did you get in your first kind of like exploration, because it's always fun to find new things. And how far did you get in your map? Like, how far did you fill out your map when you went on your first exploration? And I'll share with you when I get back where we went. All right, see you in a bit. All right, so because I played this game before, I know where some good caves are for some different ores and stuff. And let me open up my map. I'm all the way up here north of the hub. The hub is here. And there's a cave here. In this cave, you're going to find Sam and you're going to find quartz. We're going to go ahead and mine up quite a bit of it to do some research and also be able to use it. And eventually we'll come back with some supplies, because we're building up supplies to make miners and stuff like that, that we'll be able to automatically mine it up and make stuff with it once we research it. So also in here is loads of mycelia. And again, if you press E and then tab, it'll pick up the mycelia and the sticks and stuff like that. So you could just go through and start picking up a lot of mycelia. The reason why you would want mycelia is because we'll be able to research that, make fabric out of it, and turn it into a parachute, which will definitely be a plus. Quartz is another thing that will be great, because we'll get these jumping boots that really are wonderful. You'll jump much higher and you can run much faster. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you never played before. And yeah, if you look at the map and come to the area, you shouldn't have too much of a problem finding it. You'll see some coal underneath and there'll be iron above, and just this kind of like notch. And it shouldn't be too hard to find. So anyway, I'm gonna go collect a whole bunch of that stuff and continue going off on my little adventure, and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm just collecting a little bit of Caterium here. It's a different ore that we haven't researched yet. And once that does, it fills up. I'm gonna take a look here. The one thing with going on an exploration, we don't have a lot of space in here. Now, as you can see, I had to prioritize. I had like one piece of quartz in a space, and so I ditched the quartz. And like here, I would get rid of the SAM, it's only 14, or the bacon, it's only 1. This we have not researched yet, so I definitely want to keep. So you're gonna have to prioritize, but because I don't want to, go any further, I don't want to prioritize too much. I'm gonna head back to the hub, and I'll meet you there. And if I do see anything like a blue power slug, I could pick that up for sure. Spitters, the hog, bacon, anything that I have like one of, I could pick up. I did hit a crash site. I do have one hard drive. Finding another is not going to be that easy. And wow, I almost fell down there, which I could do because I do have plenty of health. So if you're at full health and you fall down, it will leave you with a sliver of health, so you won't die immediately. But you're going to want to watch, either eat those nuts or bacon or whatever, so you don't die. Otherwise, it's very easy to forget that you're down on a sliver of health and then fall off a small piece and die. So yeah, make sure you eat. Alright, I'll meet you back at the hub. Alright, we're back at the hub. I'm gonna press E. Check that. Look at that, we got the cast screws. 6 inventory slots would be nice, but we definitely want to click that. Alright, so we have cast screws, so that's a great thing. Let's go back to here. We need the hog. We're gonna do that. Perfect. We're gonna go to the next one. We have Sam. We have not gotten these guys yet. Those are summer sloops. That'll have to wait. These we can do. We got plenty of that. Perfect. Now we have to make reanimated Sam and get pipes and wire. We don't have pipes yet. We're not into steel production just yet. But we did get Caterium. Let's start that. Let's do that so we can make ingots. And then once we make ingots, we'll be able to get some quick wire. I don't know if we'll have enough. We didn't pick up a lot of Caterium. Mycelia, can we do this? Yeah, once we pick up some biomass, we could do that. Nutrients, we did not get any of those. We did not get yellow power slugs. Quartz we did get. Let's do that. Great. We can do this. Perfect. And this. Perfect. So now we just need silica and some modular frames. Modular frames, I don't think we picked up any from crash sites, but we should be able to make it soon. So we'll worry about that later. Let's go ahead and do the sulfur. Great. Black powder, we could do that because I picked up coal as well. Great. Detonator, we need pipes. Smokeless powder, we need plastic. Yeah. So we can make black powder, but we don't have encased beams. So anyway, I'm gonna scan the next hard drive, and then we're just gonna pop in here and make some of the quartz into silica. Alright, the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make some protein, because we're gonna need it. And I am going to make some of the power shards here. There we go. Alright, let's go back to the man. Let's see where our hard drive is. I went out the wrong door. Of course I did. We got 4 minutes left on that. I'm gonna dump some of this in here. Let's see. Store all. Let's sort this out. Let's take all. Let's sort it again. And sort it. We can make a container. I'm gonna take everything. Reason being, I'm gonna make another container like this. Put it next to the hub here. For some of the thing. Wow, I don't need that. Let's see. We're gonna store our coal, quartz, this, all the animal stuff for now. The animal protein for now. The slugs. Let's sort this through again. Gonna keep this stuff. The Caterium stays. Let's go back in here. Grab the rest of this. And then come in here. We don't need this, and this for now. And this. And rotors. We don't need any of those. Alright. So we did not... Oh, and the mycelia. We don't need that right now. Alright, so sort this. Sort this. This is just average parts. Let's see how we're doing. So we got rods. It's not too bad. Plates. Screws. And let's go check on our wire and cable. Wire. Cable. Alright, so now the main thing is going to be making sure we have enough power. As you can see, I see no solid biofuel. So this is making me super nervous because I never connected it. Well, that is pretty bad. And again, this goes to I am only human and I make mistakes, and we didn't run out of power. I mean, luckily all our biomass burners still had biomass in it, so good thing we didn't run out of power. But I'll tell you one thing, we did save, well, we didn't save anything because it wouldn't have burned the solid biofuel anyway, but I think we're in good shape, so we don't have to worry about cutting down any trees yet or anything like that. And I'm gonna put the wood I have in here, sort this. There we go. And I'm just gonna give you a sneak peek at how much time so far we've been in the game. So I'm just gonna save our game, and we'll just name it BS2. And then we'll name it episode 1.3 because we have a 1.2. So now, as you can see, before we went exploring, we had about an hour and a half in the game that we just started setting up. Now we have 2 hours 25 minutes, as you can see. So yeah, I went exploring for quite a while, about a half hour, you know, or so. I guess that adds up to, no, it does not. What am I talking about? What did I say? I don't even know what I'm saying. Damn. Okay, let's see. Save. All right, so yeah, I had an hour and a half. So an hour. About an hour. So I did want to stay out longer. I wanted to find a summer sloop. I wanted to get more Mercer spheres. I did get a couple, but not as much as I wanted. But I didn't have the space. I mean, space is crucial here. That is why we emptied our inventory in the first place and only left plates, which are here. No, that's reinforced plates. Ooh, we got a lot of reinforced plates. These are our plates. And we left concrete. Those were the only two things because space is valuable, right? And when you run out of fast. So anyway, that's where dimensional depots are going to come in later on in the game. But for now, this hard drive is almost done. We'll take a look at it. And then we'll go get the stuff we want to take a look at researching. If we can still do it, I don't know. Okay, so let's confirm that. So we have iron wire and stuff like that. Well, I'm not going to touch this. We're going to leave it alone. I could rescan it and possibly get the 6. You know what? Let's rescan it. What the hell? Nope. All right, we're going to leave this in here because I didn't want the other two things. I rescanned it. This fine concrete, I really don't know if I'll need it or anything like that. But anyway, I want more options. I don't want to keep getting the same options because then it'll clear. So we're just going to leave it, not choose anything, and we're good to go. Let's go ahead back in here. I want to grab another storage. And up here, I'm going to store all this stuff for now. There we go. I'm going to take everything from here, go back over to here, and see where we are with quartz. All right, so we need modular frames. We do not have modular frames. I'm wondering if we can make them. No, we have not unlocked them yet, which means let's go ahead and put this back in here. We're going to store all. We're going to take everything in here, and we're going to see what we could do to work on the next milestone. Next milestone, parts assembly. This is where we get our copper sheets, the modular frames. We're going to select this. We're going to put everything we can into here. So we just need screws and we're good to go. So let's grab those. I'm just going to take all because we are doing, we're going to probably squeeze through a lot of these milestones pretty quickly. This takes 5 minutes, 6 minutes to come back. Let's select the next thing. Jumping pads, we don't need. I'm going to skip that. This is the one we're going to select next. I'm going to go ahead and jump up, store everything again, and go pick up the stuff we need. So I'm going to go pick up that concrete and the wire, the rods, the plates. And the reason why I store everything, because I like to pick up everything I can and store it at the hub. So this way, when I do hit milestones or if I need to build anything, it's right there. I can even pick up some of these leaves. We have plenty. Let's go ahead and jump up, see how much concrete we're making. Okay, we got a good amount of concrete. That's nice. Let's go ahead down by the wire, grab that, grab it all. Now, let's hit the Q. Well, no, we're not hitting Q. We're going to go into the constructor, right? And select a recipe. We now have copper sheets. We already have a splitter on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just set up for copper sheets really quickly, but we're missing iron rods. Let's go pick that up first and definitely start making some copper sheets. It makes sense. We're going to need them probably for a lot of things, but maybe even a milestone. So let's go grab. This is our that. This is this. Let's go back down and we'll go set up. We need reinforced plates though. I know that for constructors. I'm gonna point up there, grab some of those. There we go. And let's head back down and set up for the copper sheets. I know I talk way too much. I mean, I've come a long way. I think the first video I ever made, I didn't talk at all. I was very shy to talk. And then, yeah, sometimes when I'm in these things, I'm missing cable. You know what? That's fine. We got cable over here. I just don't shut up because I talk to myself anyway on a regular basis. I don't know. I might be crazy. It's possible. But anyway, I do that because, I don't know, it helps me to sort what I'm thinking out sometimes. And, yeah, so now you get to hear it first hand of me talking to myself, basically. I mean, I'm talking to you, but gosh darn it. This really annoys me when I don't get this proper. Here we go. There we go. Alright, so let's hook this up to power. So by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but if you press 2 is already in your hotbar for power. And as you can see, I already ran out of space with these power poles. So I can still connect to there. And that's why we add all those extra power poles. So now we are making copper sheets. We are good to go with that. Our pod comes back in 2 minutes, which is great. In here, I'm just going to store some of the wood and leaves. And I'll be back once our pod returns. You know, I'm a liar. I'm not going to be back when the pod returns. I'm going to go down here. So the next one is going to be this. Do we have enough reinforced plates? Probably. Yep, we're good. I just wanted to make sure we had enough of everything to finish this last milestone. And yeah, and then I'll show you. Parts assembly. We got assemblers now. Assemblers are going to help us to make modular frames, reinforced plating, smart plating for our space elevator parts, rotors, all those good things. So we have all these new things we can do. But we're not going to get into that this episode. Not yet. Next episode, we're going to do kind of like this part 2 to this part 1 for our assemblers and our logistics for 2 and our space elevator parts. So we're just going to finish up the milestones and then we'll work on getting to the next step. Alright, so here we go. Let's submit everything we need. Send that off. Press E. Select our next milestone. There. We gotta wait another 5 minutes for this to all return, but we do have everything we need. So, cement. What is this? Rods. Reinforced plates and plates. Oh, yep. We have everything we need. Alright, so I'll be back once the pod returns, and then we'll finish up that last milestone, and I'll wrap it up and let you know what we're going to do next. Alright, so while we're waiting for that pod to return, I'm going to show you what we could do with the saw here. So with the chainsaw, we can cut down trees, and it'll give us wood and leaves. And you always need solid biofuel in your inventory for this to work. So we could just keep going. We could cut down as many trees as we want. Aesthetically, I'm not sure what we're going to keep over here. So the plan for this area is to just kind of build it up right now, build up our parts, and eventually make a mega factory. That is the plan for this series. And this whole area is going to be basically a mega factory built around this waterfall. I think it's one of the most beautiful spots in this area. Also, if you have equipment out, you could press H on your keyboard and it'll put it away, so you don't have it running in front of your face all the time, because that can be quite annoying. Over here, we might leave some of these leaves. So the thing is, I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be building this mega factory probably up against those cliff sides over there, and maybe around this cliff over here, and around this area. And we're going to do some kind of either square or U around this whole, like, pond over here and everything. There's a big pond there. And I think we could do this huge mega factory right around this. Will I be bringing in power? I'm not sure. But I will be bringing in all the other resources we need. How we're going to do this, I'm not quite sure yet. It might be by train, truck, belts. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's the plan, is to build a huge mega factory in this whole area that's just going to kind of like picture frame these waterfalls, because I think they're so beautiful. In fact, we can go into picture mode, and I think once we're up at a better level with our, like, see, like this level, this is going to look really good in the center of our mega factory, which we're going to use a lot of windows and stuff like that. And look at that, we have a power slug here. So yeah, we can grab a lot of that stuff later on. But anyway, our pod is about to return in 1 minute, and we'll submit our stuff. Alrighty, here we go. Let's submit everything. Send it off. That comes back in another 6 minutes. Again, I'm going to skip jump pads. You do not have to do every milestone to submit to your space elevator. So, this is where the episode's going to end. Next episode, we're going to start reorganizing our base, setting up for rotors, reinforced plates, modular frames. We're going to put down some temporary spaces, but really use our foundations a little bit down here. I think some of this is going to get pushed off to the sides a little bit or something. I'm really not sure. Haven't completely figured out how I want to start this. I think this is going to be mostly land, but before we build up higher and get better belts and start making some of our mega factory things, this will be like a basement level to just keep things up and running until we can actually make stuff with maybe Mark 5 belts, which is way later in the game, or even Mark 4. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't figured this out. We're going to be having to pull a lot of resources in, Caterium quartz, to make everything in this area. But yeah, the next episode, we're going to put some foundations down, sort this out a little bit better, and put our space elevator down and work on our first phase, which is smart plating. So if you like my content, you want to see more, like, subscribe, comment, share. Please, I love your comments. Your comments are the best. I live for them. I answer every single comment. I do have one member, and he does get the episodes a little bit earlier than you do. That's one of his privileges in the membership. You do not have to join my membership, by no means. But it is appreciated when you do it. But I'm appreciative if you just subscribe, watch, just watching it, sharing it, and comments. I love them. So anyway, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.